In a peaceful village nestled between mountains, there lived a farmer named Kavi. He was respected for his wisdom, calm demeanor, and ability to stay silent in even the most heated situations. Kavi wasn't wealthy, nor did he crave attention, but he was known for his gentle nature and ability to handle difficult situations without anger or conflict. His quiet strength earned him admiration from the villagers, who often sought his advice. One day, a rich merchant moved to the village. This merchant, named Rajan, had made a fortune in the city and had grown accustomed to being praised and admired for his wealth. Used to commanding attention with his money, Rajan quickly became irritated by the simplicity of the villagers, particularly Kavi. The merchant couldn't understand how someone like Kavi, who lived such a modest life, could be so well respected. One morning, while the villagers gathered at the market, Rajan decided to make a public spectacle. He approached Kavi, who was quietly selling his produce, and said loudly, "How can you live so simply, Kavi? Look at you, dressed in old clothes, selling these meager crops. While you toil under the sun, I live in comfort. Isn't your life pathetic compared to mine?" The crowd grew silent, waiting for Kavi to respond. They knew how sharp Rajan's tongue could be and wondered how Kavi would defend himself. But to everyone's surprise, Kavi simply smiled softly and said nothing. He continued with his work as if he hadn't heard the insult at all. Rajan, caught off guard by Kavi's lack of reaction, pressed on. "Are you afraid to speak, Kavi? Or do you have nothing of value to say?" Rajan sneered. "It must be difficult living a life with nothing. You probably don't even know what it feels like to have power or influence." Still, Kavi remained silent. His calm expression remained unchanged, and he carried on with his simple tasks, undisturbed by the insults being thrown at him. The villagers watched, astonished at Kavi's restraint. Some thought he might be too humble or even afraid to stand up to Rajan, but those who knew Kavi better understood that his silence wasn't out of fear. It was deliberate. Days passed, and Rajan continued to taunt Kavi whenever he saw him in the village. Each time, he spoke more loudly, more rudely, trying to force Kavi into a reaction. Yet, no matter how cruel or mocking Rajan became, Kavi's response was always the same: calm silence. The more Rajan spoke, the more foolish and desperate he seemed to the villagers. One day, after a particularly harsh round of insults, Rajan couldn't take it anymore. His anger flared as he shouted at Kavi, "Why won't you say anything? Do you not have the courage to stand up for yourself? Are you really so weak that you can't even defend your own dignity?" Kavi looked at Rajan with the same gentle expression he had held throughout the entire ordeal, and finally spoke. His voice was calm, yet firm, and the crowd listened intently. "Tell me, Rajan," Kavi began, "if someone offers you a gift, but you do not accept it, to whom does the gift belong?" Confused, Rajan frowned and answered, "It still belongs to the person who offered it, of course." Kavi nodded. "Exactly. In the same way, if you offer me your anger, your insults, and I choose not to accept them, they remain with you. They do not affect me. Your words, your anger, they belong to you, not me."